Many Donald Trump supporters believed him when he said during the campaign that he was going to be a non-interventionist. He wasn't going to be a George W. Bush. He was going to largely keep us out of the Middle East and these other unnecessary conflicts that cost so much money and we lose so many lives. He was going to be America first. And then these Syria strikes happen, and there's the prospect of more. And look, I warned people for well over a year that the idea that he wasn't going to get us involved in foreign wars is absolutely ridiculous. It was a crazy thing to believe. He said he wanted to occupy countries to take their natural resources. So I wasn't surprised when he launched these strikes, but some of his supporters were. And so people felt, well, he might actually lose a lot of his support. But it turns out that they are masters at mental gymnastics, and they've come up with a way to not blame Donald Trump for the actions Donald Trump has taken. And wait until you see what they've all independently come down on. So this is David Duke, big Trump supporter, who said this. They're making war against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Syria and the Christians of Syria for the purposes of Jewish extremism. Trump's Jewish son-in-law wants to take over his empire. So there is actually Kushner and Ivanka Trump. So Donald Trump's not responsible for what he did. His son-in-law made him launch those strikes, and they just happened to be Jewish. Isn't that odd? We have the Daily Stormer, if you know anything about white supremacy, you know what they're about, concluded that the most likely reason for Trump to take the move against Syria was that he was being manipulated by Jews and the deep state intelligence community in a devious manner. So they haven't totally given up on the whole deep state thing, but now they've started to involve Jewish people into it. Let's see, Alex Jones, you might know from his show where he fights info constantly. It's his daughter and son-in-law who are literally enemies of the Republic. Jones blamed President Kushner for the media leaks from the White House, which he described as a jihad to go after hardcore conservatives and patriots. So Kushner is responsible not just for Syria, but also for the leaks. Now that one seems relatively free of anti-Semitism, but Jones also went on to say that the chemical weapons attacks in Syria were a hoax perpetrated by George Soros. And we know when they start talking about George Soros where they're going with that. And so look, these are different elements of white supremacy and anti-Semitism online, all coalescing around this way that they can relieve Donald Trump of any responsibility for his attacks.
Yeah. So look, there's the obvious angle of anti-Semitism, which I don't think anyone really needs to explain to our audience. You guys get it. But what I also find so interesting, and I asked myself this question quite a bit, as soon as Trump got elected, how does someone like Alex Jones, whose bread and butter is conspiracy theories, whose bread and butter is going after the president, how does he continue on with his business model? How does he continue to remain relevant when in reality he's in bed with the president? He loves the president. He can't get enough of the president. He's on his knees pleasuring the president constantly, right? Not literally, but you guys got it. Yeah, well, anyway, so he just comes up with conspiracy theories geared toward the only Jewish component of Trump's administration? Really, that's what you do? The guy is crazy. The guy is literally out of his mind crazy. No, but
it's look, all of these different.
I know, but David Duke, white supremacist, whatever. I mean, everyone knows he's crazy, right? Same with Daily Stormer, or whatever the hell they call themselves.
It's a white supremacy site.
White supremacists, right? So you know what to expect from them. I guess the reason why I'm focusing specifically on someone like Alex Jones is because he somehow miraculously convinced some portion of his audience to believe that he is a legitimate news source. And I hope that people are waking up and realizing that the guy is just completely unhinged, right? He's unhinged, and he profits off sharing these ridiculous conspiracy theories and fear-mongering, and also he's selling snake oil. Like, I don't know what other like penis medication he's trying to slang on his show, but the guy is nuts, okay? So he shouldn't be taken seriously by anyone.
Yeah, I hope that some of the Trump supporters will still realize what's going on. I mean, we've seen on Reddit, some of the Donald Trump supporting forums are saying, well, like he said he wouldn't do this, and now he's doing it. And when they sold out to the ISPs to give them your private browsing information, they seem to be waking up a little bit. But those whose business model is going along with conspiracy theories, I assume that they would have perhaps some cognitive dissonance over the fact that they now have to support everything the federal government does. But if you can come up with secret societies and cabals inside of the White House, if you can all put it off on these subversive elements that you make up, then you can keep making money. And so I should have had more respect for how flexible these broken minds are.
Respect
but again,
is not the right word to use in this context, but
I'm using it ironically.
Yeah.
My fear is that I don't like to see the continued anti-Semitism. I know some people want to distract you away from that, but that seems to be a constant throughout the campaign and into now. It's a scary part of politics throughout our history. It's a scary part of US politics. I don't like to see it continuing to this point. But anyway, so just be on the lookout. When you start to hear that things aren't Trump's fault, that it's someone else operating inside of the White House, it could be that people are just trying to relieve themselves of some awkward, uncomfortable cognitive dissonance.
How does Trump feel about the fact that all of these supporters believe that he's being manipulated, that he's so mentally weak and intellectually challenged that he's being manipulated by Jared Kushner? I don't know. How does Trump feel about it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We should poll the audience.
Young Turks now has over 6 billion lifetime views. You know who did that? You did that. We're now larger than CNN, ABC, you name a news network online, we're larger than them. And you built all that as everyone scoffed and didn't believe. And here we are, guys, thanks to you. Build independent media together with us at tytnetwork.com/join.